Hello and welcome to the 5th edition of Ask the Gov. Our first question comes from Aaron at St. Charles, Iowa. Aaron asks, State Treasurer Fitzgerald issued a statement urging you to, quote, take off the sheriff's badge, roll up your sleeves, and work on a budget compromise for all Iowans, and further stated that Iowa is fiscally sound. In light of this statement, what are your plans for compromise to make sure that education and job creation are priorities in Iowa? Well, first of all, I think it's important for people to know that the people of Iowa elected me to straighten out the financial mess that the state is in. We inherited about $900 million that would one-time money had been used for ongoing expenses, including $540 million in Medicaid alone and purposely underfunding entitlement programs like indigent defense. I promised the people of Iowa that I would restore fiscal integrity and restore stability and predictability and sustainability to our budgeting process. We put together a 5-year plan, spending less each year than we're taking in. Our focus is on jobs, reducing the tax and regulatory burdens in Iowa, and also we're intending to restore Iowa's leadership position in education by having an education summit next summer that will really change the way we fund education, focusing on improving student achievement. Back in the 90s, we were best in America in education. Today, we're middle of the pack in student achievement. I know we can do better. I'm committed to leading this state to resolve that. With regard to the budget, of course, it has to be approved by both the House and the Senate. The House has said that we want to spend no more than $6 billion, and we're willing to work with the Senate Democrats on some of their priorities, but it has to be within the bounds of a budget that balances and is sustainable for the long term. The second question comes from Carolyn. Carolyn asks, what can be done to keep Iowa Works office in Pella? It's an essential part of the community with many layoffs in manufacturing in Marion County. Unfortunately, because of the budget constraints and because of the fact that my predecessor, Governor Culver, agreed to a 15% in salaries over the next 2 years for state employees that are not at the top of their pay range, and the fact that they used almost $900 million of one-time money for ongoing expenses last year, we don't have money to be able to maintain all of these programs in all of the offices. So we've asked every department and agency to look for innovative ways in order to provide the services we need. We're working very aggressively to reorganize economic development to a new public-private partnership to attract new business and jobs, and we are going to be partnering with the libraries, the community colleges, and others to provide assistance for people looking for jobs. Our final question comes from Jason. Jason asks, I live in New York, but I'm originally from Carroll, Iowa. Most startups these days are in California, New York, or Austin, Texas. What can Iowa do to encourage tech startups to come to our state? Actually, businesses are fleeing places like California and New York by their burdensome regulations. We in Iowa want to attract more business and jobs by reducing the tax and regulatory environment. I have already signed an executive order requiring all new regulations have a jobs impact statement. We're going to sunset all existing regulations and do a cost-benefit analysis on all regulations, maintaining those that are necessary and eliminating those that aren't. Also, we're going to replace our Department of Economic Development with a new public-private partnership where we have private sector leaders like from the Iowa Innovation Council working with professional developers like Debbie Durham, the new director of the agency, and I'm going to be hands-on involved in personally calling on business prospects to encourage them to locate in Iowa. Illinois is raising their taxes, and I've already sent 700 letters to Illinois companies asking them to consider expanding in the state of Iowa rather than Illinois. So we are excited about the opportunity, especially in biosciences, for businesses to choose and locate in Iowa. Already Cargill's announced they want to build another complex in Fort Dodge similar to what they have in Eddyville, Iowa, and We're going to do all we can to reduce the tax and regulatory burdens and to aggressively market and promote Iowa as a pro-growth, right-to-work state, and I'm excited about the prospects we have. Finally, I'm pleased to announce that next week, Lieutenant Governor Kim Reynolds will answer your question in a special edition of Ask the Gov. Submit your questions for the Lieutenant Governor through our website, on Twitter, or on Facebook. Thank you very much.